What is up, everyone? Today we'll be showcasing a great triple shadow team for the Open Ultra League featuring Ampharos. Ampharos was suggested to me during my Twitch livestream yesterday by a great battler, Zwilus. He's been doing very well with it and he thinks it's very good in the current meta because there's so many Pokemon weak to electric like Talonflame, Walrein, Tapu, Fini. Like Registeel doesn't do too great versus Ampharos either. So overall a solid pick. He actually recommends running Zap Cannon on it because it hits very hard and you can get an attack drop. But mine still had Dragon Pulse. I didn't really want a TM and I think it still has play too, especially versus ground types like Nidoqueen and Swampert. You at least have something to hit him with. Also, like Giratina, of course, you need the Dragon Pulse to hit that at all as well. I'm running it as a pivot in this team actually. Since I had Dragon Pulse, I thought, you know, I'll try it out as a safe switch. Because even if a Nidoqueen comes in, even if a Giratina comes in, I have a little bit of play to cover for most of Ampharos' weaknesses. Mainly ground types, dragons, and grass types. I'm running Walrein in the lead. And then I have Kanto Ninetales in the back. Since Ampharos lures out those water, well, not those water types, those ground types like Swampert, which is also water type. Kanto Ninetales is often just free to sweep once that Swampert has been taken. Now, that's the idea of this team, and it actually worked out extremely well. So we're just gonna head into these battles and see how it's played. All right, Walrein in the lead here. This is pretty okay. What I would recommend you do, and what I don't do in this battle, is just throw your Earthquake immediately. Try to get them to throw their Earthquake immediately, or as soon as possible at least, and then switch into your Ampharos. You kind of want to save your Walrein just in case there's like a Giratina in the back, because then you really want that Walrein alive, or like a Swampert or something. You need your Walrein for that. All right, Nidoqueen comes in. This is where the Pulse comes in very handy. It still doesn't do that much, unfortunately, but two of them do kill. At the very least, Nidoqueen can't farm you down, which is nice. They can get to another Poison Fang here though, but I will shield it up. At this point, this will allow me to get to another move. They can shield this, farm me down. I'll be fine with that because then Kanto Ninetales is up against an opponent without any shields, which is a very good place to be. But they actually let Nidoqueen go down. I don't really want to get farmed down by anything, so I'll just switch in my Walrein. They bring in Trevenant. I take a shield here with Walrein at this point. I feel very safe just sweeping with Kanto Ninetales. I really love Kanto Ninetales as a sweeper in this meta. Pure fire damage, which is very nice. Does well against Trevenant and Walrein, which is quite a common core still. I am gonna shoot up this move. Unfortunately, it ends up being an Icicle Spear. That means I can't really overfarm by too much, or I risk getting hit by an Earthquake. Gonna throw his Overheat. And since I overfarm by 1, I should be able to outpace this Trevenant to a move, but I don't think the Weather Ball kills, so instead, it's just gonna catch the Shadow Ball here. And now we've just sealed the win. Even with the Thunder Charge, it doesn't really matter. I could just Weather Ball here, it kills, but I was one of the Overheat. Might as well just roast this Trevenant out of existence. GG. Next match, Escavalier lead is actually a big core breaker for my squad because it just completely walls Walrein, and Drurun does super effective damage versus Ampharos. But Ampharos is very spammy, so I do outpace this thing to like multiple Thunder Punches, which is good. So I only have to shield up one Drurun here, and I'll get to another Thunder Punch for sure, which I will throw immediately. Luckily, they didn't switch out here into a ground type. That would have been quite bad. They let that go actually. At this point, I think I would let my Ampharos go down as well, but they actually switch in their Walrein. I overfarm here because they would have gotten to the move before me. So I didn't throw my move, hoping they'd throw with alignment so I could sneak one through and maybe got a 2 Thunder Punches, but no, they didn't throw at all until like 1 before my move, so that was kind of a bad play by my part. Should have just thrown immediately, honestly. But also, them overfarming didn't make any sense, so that was just kind of a weird situation there. But anyway, we burned their shield. We've brought this Walrein into Earthquake range. They unfortunately are gonna get to an Earthquake before I'm able to, but that's okay. I can tank this quite nicely. I go for the Earthquake here, but they catch it. Honestly, I wasn't really paying much attention here. Because they even got off a counter before I threw Earthquake. This was just very dumb on my part. It's a very, very dumb move. But, you know, we got rid of the Escav. That's fine. I'll get to the Earthquake before they're able to get to the Earthquake here. Unfortunately, we do get a little bit of a lag, but it doesn't really end up mattering. I would have gotten there anyway. Kill this Walrein, and now hope there's something in the back that K9 can deal with, and it's Mandibus, which is very fine for this squad. As you could see, their team was kind of double weak to Ampharos in the back, which is why they stayed in with that Escavalier so long. Just imagine what I could have done with Ampharos if that Escavalier was done. So yeah, I think electric types are pretty good in this current meta, so definitely can recommend running an Ampharos or a different electric type. Maybe even Magnezone could be okay-ish. I mean, Registeel, of course, is very good too. Kind of an electric type as well, because it does have that electric move. Anyway, we got a Jellicent in the lead, and Jellicent in the lead is kind of a pain. I kind of like seeing it here, since then it's not on my Kanto Ninetales, but like when shields are up, Jellicent just has so much better of a matchup here. It actually Bubble Beam me first, which I no shielded. Wasn't even a call, I was just gonna let a Shadow Ball go, but then the Bubble Beaming, which is fine. I'm gonna call the Shadow Ball here though, so shield up, and now I'm just gonna go for another Earthquake. This won't do anything though. At first, I thought that Bubble Beam of theirs was a very stupid move, since I didn't shield, and I probably wouldn't shield. But seeing how little that Earthquake did, it might have actually been a very smart move. Now I ended up making a mistake. I really thought I wasn't going to survive this Hex, so I ended up going for Icicle Spear, but I would have survived that Hex. Which means I would have reached Earthquake, which would have killed. So yeah, that's a big mistake. I would have killed or taken a shield. Either one would have been fine. Now I'm forced to go into Ampharos. Take this Shadow Ball, since I don't really want to go shields down. And now what do they have in the back? In comes Skuntank, which is definitely not great. Just gonna go for a Thunder Punch here. I should be able to go for double, which will either take a shield or bring this thing like extremely low. Probably kill actually, since we're Shadow on Shadow. This should do a lot of damage. Oh yeah, I would have killed if they no shield both. At this point, I'm really hoping I can farm this down with K9, but it's gonna be tough. I don't think I can farm this down before they get to 2 crunches, so no shoot the first one. And they bring in a Talonflame. And Talonflame is actually not as bad for Kanto Ninetales as you would think. Even though they have Braver to hit me, Kanto Ninetales is just a tad more bulky. And can take these moves quite nicely. And there's a lot of damage back with the Overheat as well. Since I know one Overheat didn't kill, I went for the Weather Ball first. And now I'm going to go for the Overheat. Really hoping this knocks out the bird. And then I might be able to get rid of the Skuntank too. But it barely doesn't kill. And we will be taken out by a Flame Charge here. GG. If I Earthquake the Jellicent at the beginning, I would have won this game. So that's just a mistake by me there. Toxicroak lead, also very bad. Walls, well, it's very good versus my Walrein, and then I can Mud Bomb both my Pokemon in the back as well. It's actually a massive core breaker, so not great. But I switched to Ampharos. Luckily, there a load of Muck comes in, which is kind of fine for Ampharos. I already burnt their shield and took a bunch of health. I'm not going to shield this, kind of expecting them to spray, but they're smart. They end up Dark Pulsing. That's fine. Now, I don't throw my move here, expecting that to be a CMP tie on the Dark Pulse, but I end up overfarming so much. So I shield this, and this ends up being a very good play, because it was the Gunk Shot. That's a huge shield right there. I can farm this all the way down now. I have a bunch of energy loaded for the Toxicroak, which I was expecting to come in, but they actually come in with Umbreon, which is okay for me, because now I don't get my Walrein in the Toxicroak, but it's also not great, because, well, the Toxicroak is still alive with some energy, and might get aligned versus my Kanto Ninetales, which is not great either if they mid-bomb. But I just overload on a bunch of energy. They bring in the Toxicroak now. Gonna throw one Icicle Spear, and I should have another one loaded after this. So we'll throw, so put them in a range where a Weather Ball should knock out. They're at like 5 counters now, which means they're 7 away from double Mud Bomb, which means I should be able to get to a Weather Ball here. I have to throw immediately though, since they're now 3 counters away from another Mud Ball, I'm pretty sure. So if I throw another 5-spin, we would CMP tie and I would lose that, and I would lose the game then. So just throw immediately. And now my Kanto Ninetales should be healthy enough to survive a move from the Umbreon and get to the Overheat. I actually end up overfarming here, because I'm stupid, but we get there. And that's a good game. Let's go. Tough lead, but we managed. Alright, Gyarados' lead is pretty decent here. Gyarados is much squishier than Walrein. These Dragon Breaths are really adding up though, and a crunch would definitely hurt too. This is not gonna kill as well. I'm very happy to see this thing here though, because Kanto Ninetales definitely doesn't want to see it. The only problem I have is that there's likely an answer for Electric in the back, right? Like like a Nidoqueen, like a Swampert, and those aren't great for Ampharos. So my Ampharos might see no play in the back. But, you know, Ultra League is kind of a weird meta at the moment, where a lot of people are running just strange themes with double weaknesses, so there might have not been a counter, but yeah, there actually is. There's a Nidoqueen, which isn't great, but they gave me so much of an energy lead. Like I can Dragon Pulse this, does a lot of damage. And now, I was expecting him to shield the second one, so I go for the Thunder Punch, but this absolute madman decides to no shield my Thunder Punch. What a mistake by me. Now I'm gonna no shield this. I was thinking it was gonna be Earth Power, but I didn't think it was worth shooting anyway. Oh, this is also a mistake. Oh, this is going so bad. I CMP time a Poison Fang, which see, I lose. I always overestimate Nidoqueen's bulk, I think, because I always think Nidoqueen loses CMP, but it always ends up winning CMP. Now, this Corsaria has a bunch of health left. This Nidoqueen has health left. And I have a Kanto Ninetales. I do resist every charge move this Corsaria can throw. I already showed Grass Knot. It's very likely Moonblast as well, as you can see. Which means that I resist everything, but these moves will start adding up. And an Overheat might barely not knock out. Actually, from this range it should, but they still have a shield as well. I can't throw it here, so I'm gonna go for the Weather Balls at this point. Triple Weather Balls is just my safest play. Though if they shield this first one, I would go for the Overheat. I can overfarm here, CMP tie on this move, save a shield for the Queen now too, which is good. Now I'm gonna have to get the 2 moves versus the Queen in order to win this game, but can they Poison Jab me down beforehand? Maybe. I do have double here, but if that Poison Fang kills me, I am dead. One Weather Ball gets shielded, the second one goes through, and this should kill the Nidoqueen. That is a very close game. I almost messed that up like 3 times, but Kanto Ninetales is just much too strong. GG. Alright. Jellicent lead again. Can I get revenge? Gonna go straight for the Earthquake this time. Well, it last time as well, but this time they actually overfarmed a lot, which is interesting. Gonna no-shoot the first move. Because I'm already taking a shield, I'm fine with that. They throw another move here. I'm no-shielding, which I think might be a mistake. Since this was likely going to be Shadow Ball, the thing is, I was expecting them to maybe Bubble Beam. And in that case, you know, shooting up is very bad. But the Shadow Ball, so maybe a shield was worth it. Anyway, Drapion comes in. I can't really switch. If I switch, then my Ninetales just going to go into the Jelly later. I kind of just want to kill this with Ampharos. Quick. But they shield. Isn't great. They get 2 defense drops in a row, which is also not great. These poison things are really starting to add up. Gonna Thunder Punch this, and then maybe switch out to Jellicent, or Jellicent to Ninetales, which will get lined up to the Jellicent now, which is quite bad. Luckily though, it seems they're very weak to Ampharos. They double shielded their Drapion, or they shielded their Drapion to go into a 2-shield deficit. Usually means they're very weak against their Pokemon, so maybe it's like Gyarados in the back and I can somehow still beat it. I'm gonna go for the Overheat here. This will do a good chunk, but just not enough. Luckily this is CMP tie, hoping they kill me here with a Bubble Beam, but they're smart. They undercharge that move, which will allow me to get to the Weather Ball, but it won't be enough to take out the Jelly, unfortunately. I'm gonna have to farm this down with Ampharos. I could have maybe thrown my move, but the thing is, if I throw my move, I guarantee I lose. Just because I won't be able to get to another move first. Whatever comes in, and it ends up being Scrafty, so they weren't weak to Ampharos at all, which is interesting. Alright, Registeel lead, very bad. Well, not great for Walrein, so switch to Ampharos, and comes Swampert, which is super bad, but fine. Because, well, I got Dragon Pulse here to do some decent damage, actually some good damage, and my Kanto Ninetales avoids this. I was very much considering shooting this, because if it's Earthquake, I might actually be able to flip this matchup, but I know shield. Just in case it's Hydro Bait, this is safer. I can farm down this Swampert now, which is really good. They're definitely earthquaking, so I'm shooting this up. And they'll get to another Hydro, but that's fine. I can easily take it and just farm this down. Imagine if they Hydro baited though. This would have been really rough for me, but since they didn't, I'm in a good spot. I have a lot of energy stored for this Registeel. I'm just gonna bait, expecting them to shield this move up, which they do. And then I'm gonna go straight for the Earthquake here. I'm actually expecting a shield here too, but it's not worth the risk to me. Bring in my Ninetales afterwards. I was highly considering just letting my Walrein go as well and just gonna sweep the Ninetales, but I think I'd rather save the Walrein just in case. Actually throw a move at the Registeel, which is a Focus Blast, which is shield up. And now I'm just gonna over farm a bunch. Throw right before they can get to another move. Very lucky they didn't catch there. I was very afraid they would catch on something, but they didn't. So Registeel goes bye-bye, and it's a worse Ninetales in the back. GG. And that is why Kanto Ninetales is so good in the current meta. There's just so many teams that don't handle a pure fire that well. The only fire most people are prepared for is like Talonflame, which is a flying. So, you know, I like a Walrein does better versus Talonflame than the Ninetales. Registeel does better versus Talonflame than it does versus Ninetales. So teams just aren't prepared for it, which just gives it so much play. Anyway, this next game, Walrein lead, we do the usual play, Earthquake, then dip into Ampharos, in comes Escavalier this time, with Confusion, which is very interesting. This is where Zap Cannon would actually come in useful, because I would do so much damage with one. But Thunder Punches do a good chunk too. I'm actually going to be able to get a shield here, or kill this Escavalier, but I doubt they let it go. Yeah, they let it go, or they shield it up, I mean. Since they have Confusion, they probably run Grass, not a Moonblast, so I'm going to bring in my my K9 just to resist every single move. I don't have to use a shield, though. I am kind of afraid there's something in the back with like fast move pressure, maybe a fighter. In that case, maybe I should shield up one of these moves, because if it's like a Shadow Machamp now, I'm probably just going to get countered down, which wouldn't be great. Yeah, I'm already in the yellow. My Walrein is half health, but I do have 2 shields, and they bring in their own Walrein, and this gives me a very good feeling that it's something in the back that I should be able to beat. They shield it up too, which is really good. Just gonna overfarm here and throw another Weather Ball. I'm actually surprised they didn't throw their Icicle Spear since they were there. But it ends up being a Sylveon in the back, so it makes sense since they don't get too many moves anyway. I'm just gonna be able to overheat this now, basically kill it, and then my Walrein will come on to finish it off as we're finishing off this video as well. This was the final battle. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you very much for watching. See you guys in the next one. Goodbye.